In fourth module, we have discussed, just a fresher, we have discussed what is network layer, what are the network layer protocols, what is IP address, internet protocol address, what is datagram format, fragmentation, right, security in IPv4 datagram, then internet control message protocol v4 version. So why do we need ICMPv4 message protocol? We have discussed what is the importance and for what purpose we need ICMPv4. Then what is the message format in ICMPv4? Then what are the debugging tools in ICMPv4 protocol, and mobile IP also we have discussed, and what is the structure of address in mobile IP, agencies, three phases, and inefficiency in mobile IP, right? Because of error control, inefficiency will be there, right? Then Ravi sir is teaching you unicast routing protocol there. What is routing algorithms? Distance DSDV means distance vector routing protocol, link state routing protocol, path vector routing protocol, unicast routing protocol, etc. Right. So these are the contents in fourth module we have discussed. Today I will start fifth module, and we will discuss complete concept of the transport layer. What is transport layer? What are the services of transport layer in the internet? So everything we will discuss. So this is also very important with respect to the placement or job. What is transport layer and what are the services, right? And what are the protocols will support in the transport layer? We will discuss, right? So the transport layer is located between the network layer and the application layer. So if you consider open source interfaces, right, the arrangement of the layer services, right. So transport layer will be located between network layer and the application layer. The transport layer is responsible for providing services to the application layer. That is, it receives services from the network layer, right? Because it below the network layer, right? So it receives the services from the network layer, right? Providing services to the under transport layer will provide the services to the application layer, and transport layer will receive the services from the network layer. So difference between, because it is located between the network layer and the application layer, so it receives the services from the network layer and it provides the services to the application layer. Then what is, I will tell you what are the basic concept of transport layer, right? So transport layer is the second layer of the TCP/IP protocol after network layer. Of course, this is the second layer. Then it is an end-to-end layer used to delivery messages to a host, right? So if we consider source and destination, right? So transport layer will provide the services, means it deliver the messages at end-to-end layer. Right. It is termed as an end-to-end layer because it provides a point-to-point connection rather than hop between the source host and destination host to deliver the services reliably. Dear students, once again, point-to-point connection and hop-to-hop connection means, for example, in a communication path, if there are only two devices, source and destination, right? Point to point communication or connection means, so directly any message or data packet will send from source to destination without a mediator, number of host between source and destination. That is called as point to point connection. Hop to hop connection means between sender and receiver, intermediate nodes, mobile nodes will come. Then the data or packet cannot, if distance is more, if distance is more, right, then point to point communication is not possible in wireless communication. Then that communication needs hop to hop communication. Hop to hop communication means if the distance is more and number of intermediate nodes will come to transmit the data from source to destination. So if there are intermediate nodes or mobile nodes, then that communication is called as hop-to-hop communication connection, right? So transport layer will provide the services a point-to-point connection rather than hop-to-hop connection, right, between source and destination. The transport layer is located, as I told you, between application layer and the transport layer, right. It provides a process-to-process communication between two application layers, right. Two application layer, it provides the services, that is process-to-process communication. One at the local host and the other at the remote host, right. One at the local host, right. What are that two application layers? One is called as local host, right. Another one is called as remote host, that is called as wireless communication. And second one is for means transport layer. It provides the services both connection oriented and connectionless services, right. That is called as two application layer services. Right, students, transport layer will provide both connection oriented and connectionless services. So that's why this is called as local host is called as connection oriented, and connectionless is nothing but remote host communication, right. So the transport layer in the communication provided using a logical connection, which means that the two layers which can be located in different parts of the, right. Assume that there is imaginary direct connection through sender and receiver message, right. So this black diagram represents what is the logical connections of the transport layer. So if you observe here, so as I told you, APSTN, right, open source interface, right, where transport layer is located between application layer and the network layer. So transport layer will provide the services to the application layer, and it receives the services from the network layer. So before data link layer and physical layer, right. Example they have taken Alice and Baba, right. To other, that is route R1, R2, R3, R4, number of routes are there, right. Internet service provider is there, switch route, wide area network is there, the national internet service provider is also there, right. So you should observe here what are the structure of the logical connection, right. And also point to point communication is there, right. As I told you, transport layer provides the services of point to point communication rather than hop to hop communication. So here directly between source and destination. So this is the structure of logical connection, right. Now what are the services of the transport layer? Let us see, right. As I told you, transport layer is located between network layer and the transport layer. So transport layer is responsible for providing services to the application layer, and it receives the services from the network layer before data link layer and the physical layer. Now, so this is the basic concept of transport layer services. Now, what is the process to process communication? As I told you, the transport layer provides process to process communication, right. What is that? The first duty of transport layer protocol is to provide process to process communication. A process is an application layer entity, right. So running program, right. So application layer entity is nothing but running program. Means in a communication, when a sender wants to communicate with the destination, right. So there is a request RREP protocol, replay protocol, ACK control protocol, sorry, control packets, right. So RREP, first RREQ, request, replay and acknowledgement, right. So while sending any data packet or data to the destination, so that communication layer is called as running program or application layer entity. As we told, transport layer will provide the services to the application layer, right. So a process to process communication is means, first let us understand what is a process, right. A process is an application layer running program that uses the services of the transport layer. It means what is a running program or application layer entity means, so when a transport layer will provide the services to the application layer, right, there certain concept has to be executed to receive the services from the transport layer, right, at the application layer. So that concept is called as a process. So process is called as a running program or receiving services from the transport layer is called as a application layer entity, right? So that's why process to process communication is called as, see, once the services provided from the transport layer, so complete services will receive at the application layer, right? That is called as process to process communication. A network layer protocol can deliver the message only to the destination computer, right? So as I told you, there is no hop to hop connection, right? So transport layer will provide only point to point communication. So that's why a network layer protocol can deliver the message only to the destination computer. This is an incomplete delivery. Of course, the message still needs to be handed to the correct process. So this is where a transport layer protocol takes over, right? So once the network layer provides the services to the transport layer, that is incomplete. So the complete message still needs to be added to the correct process. So this where a transport layer protocol takes over, right? So don't confuse. Protocol transport layer will receive the services from the network layer and it provides the services to the application layer, right? So directly a network layer protocol can deliver the message only to the destination of the computer, right? So once the network layer delivers the data to the destination computer, then there are certain processes, correct processes to deliver the data through transport layer protocol. Means they transport, once the network layer provides or deliver the message to the destination, then a transport layer protocol takes that, means receives that message with correct complete process, right? A transport layer is responsible for delivering the message to the appropriate process, right? So this is a network layer, various support, right here. Process to process communication. Process means, so how to deliver these services to the application layer. So here direct connection, client and server through internet protocol, right? So we are saying that between client and server process, domain of network layer protocol, right? At the between client and server, between process and process, between client and service, we can see that domain of transport layer protocol, right? So between client and server, network layer provides the services, right? As I told you, once the network layer deliver the message at the destination, then transport layer has to receive that message with the complete process, right? So between client and services server, there should be process to process communication through transport layer protocol, right? So this is called as process to process communication. So the first duty of transport layer protocol is to provide process to process communication. That one we have discussed. So completely, a transport layer protocol is responsible for delivery of the message to the appropriate process at the destination. So once the network layer protocol sends the message from source to destination, that is incomplete. So a transport layer protocol is responsible for delivery of the message to the appropriate process at the destination. Now, what is addressing or port numbers in transport layer protocol? Let us see. So in second module and third module, so we have discussed that what is a port or port number in each and every physical devices, like our printer. Like you take printer, you take scanner, you take any laptop or desktop, each and every devices should have port numbers, right? That is 32/6 port numbers. So that one we have discussed, right? So in port number there will be specific addressing, right? So depends on the devices, the address will be vary, right? So in each and every devices there should be addresses. That is port number. Port number is called as a address, right? The local host and the remote host are defined using IP addresses, right? Local host means computer systems in local area network and in wide area network wireless communication. So whichever the devices are there should have specific internet protocol addresses, right? To define the process, we need second identifier called port numbers. So IP address is different and port number is different, right? Internet protocol number is different, port number is different. For example, so whatever the number is specified in the scanner or printer, so that address is totally different from the IP address. So that's why we need second identifiers called port numbers. In our mobile also, so if you want to use a data cable to transfer data from mobile to laptop, so there is also a specific port numbers. In the TCP IP protocol, so the port numbers are integers from 0 to 65,535, totally 16 bits, right? Please remember, so what is the port numbers in TCP IP protocol, right? So the TCP IP protocol means in TCP IP protocol, so the port numbers are start from 0 to 65,535. TCP/IP has decided to use universal port numbers for services, right? These are called well-known port numbers, right? So what is port number? TCP/IP has decided to use universally port numbers for servers. These are called well-known port numbers. So simply, right, what is port number means? In any physical connection devices to transfer the data, in any physical connection devices to transfer the data. For example, if I want to get printout, what I will do? So I will connect a printer cable to the laptop, right? Then from the laptop, so whatever the file or document I want to get print out, I will send it. Then printer depends on the port address, it will sync, it will connect it to the laptop, specific laptop. Then laptop will identify that, so this is the specific printer. So if it identifies this is the specific printer port number, so then only it will transfer the data to get the printout. So that is called as port numbers, right? So TCP/IP will decide to use universally port numbers. So before transmitting any message or any data to any other devices, there should be specific port numbers. There are some exceptions to this rule. For example, there are clients that are whatever I told you, printer and scanner, right? Now, while sending, for example, as I told you, transport layer will provide the services to the application layer, and transport layer will receive the services from the network layer, right? So there will be error control, flow control, and congestion control will be there. Like in network layer also, we have discussed what is error control, what is flow control, and what is congestion control. So these are some corrections, right, or mistakes in the network will happen. So error control, flow control, and congestion control. So here also, so what is error control? Let us see. In the internet, of course, IP address is unreliable because IP address, network layer or IP address is connectionless protocol, right? IP address is nothing but connectionless protocol. TCP is the connection oriented protocol. So as we know that if IP protocol is connectionless protocol, of course it is unreliable. There is no guarantee for delivering the data from sender to receiver. Then we need to make the transport layer reliable if the application requires reliability, right? Because TCP/IP protocol are the basic concept in transport layer protocol. So that's why transport layer protocol can provide the services in with respect to connection oriented and connectionless services. So that's why for connection oriented, so TCP/IP protocol will support, right? TCP/IP is reliable, but transport at the same time, transport layer will provide the wireless communication services also, right? Then we need internet protocol address. So as we know that internet protocol address internet protocol services or wireless communication is unreliable, right? So how to make transport layer as reliable if the application requires reliability, right? For certain applications, right, reliability should be. Then how to make the transport layer as a reliable. Reliability can be achieved to add error control services to the transport layer, right? So if there is any error occurs, if there is any error occurs while sending data packet from source to destination or providing services to the application layer, right? How to find out that error? Then reliability can be achieved to add error control services to the transport layer, right? So error control at the transport layer is responsible for first one. So what are the responsibilities of the error control at the transport layer? It is similar to the network layer. In the network layer, right, the responsibility of error controls are different. In the transport layer, so what are the responsibilities of the error control? Let us discuss one by one. Detecting and discarding corrupted packets, right, while transmitting data from sender to receiver. when any packet when any packet becomes corrupted, for example corrupted, many files we have seen in our system, right? If there is any error, so whatever the file will be there, that will not be able to open, right? So so what computer system gives the message like this file is corrupted, right? So how to detect and discarding if any data packet is corrected? So that is the first service of the error control, right? Second service of the error control is keeping track of lost and discarded packets and resending them, right? So when any data or packet will become corrupted, right? So how to resend the original data from the same server to the destination, right? So while sending any data packet or files from source to destination, because of technical issues, some packets may be corrupted. Then how to resend the original data from sender to receiver? So that is the main responsibility of error control. Keep tracking of lost and discarded packets and resending them. So this is the second responsibility of the error control. Third responsibility of error control is recognizing the duplicate packets and discarding them, right? So if in the communication path between sender and receiver, or between application layer and network layer, if any data packet is duplicate, same data packet is occurs, right? So how to recognize that duplicate data packets and how to discarding them? So that is the second responsibility of the error control, right? Next one is buffering out of order packets until the missing packets arrives, right? So in data structure we have discussed that is stack is called as a first come first services, right? So whichever the data, for example, if there are n number of datas are there to send from source to destination, right? So at a time any host cannot send all the data at a time, right? Then there will be buffering. So whichever the packet sender wants to send, that is first preference. Second packet, second preference. Third packet in third queue, fourth queue, fifth queue, like that. So that is called as a buffering out, right? So fourth responsibility is if any data packet is corrupted or if any data packet is, right, duplicate, so until all the missing packets arrive from source to destination, so whichever the data are in queue or buffering, you will not send. So that is also the responsibility of the error control, that is buffering out of order packets until the missing packets arrive, right? If any data packet is corrupted, if any data packet is right? Duplicate, or if any data packet is lost because of technical issues, first that packets will be resending. Next, whatever the packets are in queue or in buffering, that data packets will be transmitting, right? So these are the four responsibility of the error control in the transport layer, right? Please remember, so these are the four responsibility. So error control, unlike flow control, involves only the sending and receiving transport layer, right? So flow control only it involves sending and receiving transport layer, but error control can take all these four responsibility, right?